greetings to you from wherever you're watching us tonight. Thanks for joining us on the Friday edition of the show. I'm here, me, Adebayo. Well, tonight on the show, we have a special for you on basketball development. We have a guest in the house. We'll be talking to you about basketball and, of course, the hope for young kids in the game. We'll also, on the show, be talking about the English Premier League. We'll talk about Nigeria Premier Football League. Both competitions will be going into match day 2. We're talking about all of that. And, of course, today, the National Youth Games, of course, took center stage. With the opening ceremony, we'll look at that as well. The Super Eagles of Nigeria will get our attention. 23-man list already out. Of course, some notable omissions. We'll talk about that on the show as we go on tonight. So that's the outlook of the show. Of course, it's a two-man show. My colleague Austin Okonakwan is going to be joining us in a bit. And of course, we will. All right, my man Austin Okonakwan is there now. So, Austin, it's good to have you on the show.
What a greetings to you, Yemi, and of course our viewers joining us from different parts of the world. Always an action-packed sort of sports, and thank God it's Friday. I love it when it's Friday because it means we're getting into a weekend of sporting action. Action in the Premier League in England right here. Action in the Nigeria Professional Football League, Nigeria Premier Football League, and of course the different leagues across Europe. And there's just all we can do, follow the action. Yesterday was so beautiful. We had Chin in the studio. She was talking about with a basketball in her hand, she can inspire and motivate young girls. We have another beautiful story tonight again, using basketball to empower lives. I love it so much, Yemi. And the Super Eagles list, remember, it wasn't you, it was Cecilia. I was saying there was absolutely no need for that provisional list, that it was just pure distraction. I'm glad we have our 23-man list now, and we know the players that will execute that crucial 2026 World Cup qualifying matches against Rwanda and South Africa's Bafana Bafana.
All right, let's quickly introduce our guest in the Lagos studio. Of course, he's the man who's represented Nigeria at youth level. Of course, participating in the sport of basketball. And he has come so far since then. Of course, these days, he's talking about how to help young kids achieve their dreams. We have the pleasure of having Tunji Soroye with us on the show tonight. Tunji, greetings to you. Thanks for finding time out of your busy schedule to be with us on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right. Now, straight away, let me just, dive straight. The question will be, how did it begin for you? I mean, if it was football, people would say, okay, cool, football.
Yeah.
But basketball, how were you discovered? How did it begin, the interest in the game?
I think it was just sports in general. It was soccer at first. And then I grew too tall for soccer. And then I had a cousin at the time that was playing basketball. It was about 6'7". I was taller than him. And so he got me into the game. And I fell in love with it. I did it very, very, I put so much time into it. And then I was, you find luck sometimes when you work hard. I think I'm one of those lucky guys. I started playing basketball.
All this happened in Nigeria?
All this happened in Nigeria, in Ibadan. I grew up in Ibadan. I played for the local teams in Ibadan, just, pick up games and stuff. And then I played on the festival team as well. And then I came to Lagos, joined the Islanders. Mm-hmm. And I joined the junior team, and then I played for the senior team as well for a couple of years. And then after that, I played for the junior national team. And then from there, I was able to get a scholarship to go play in America. All right.
An interesting part of your story that I read was how, on your behalf, one of those coaches spoke with coaches abroad.
Yes.
And they were able to get you in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was one of our coaches. He was a former player as well, Masai Ujiri. He was one of our coaches then. He had his contacts in the States. And he just told them, hey, I have this guy here, come down and see him. And the coaches, they came down, came to Lagos for the first time.
You had no idea?
I have no idea. They came to Lagos for the first time. I met them for the first time. We went to the embassy the next day. I think they spent maybe 3 days, maybe 2.5 days in the state in Nigeria. So they met me. We went to the embassy the next day. They flew out that day. I got my visa, and then a couple months later, I was in the States. So
And like
everything
they say, the
happened
rest is
very
history.
fast. I'm sorry, and I can say definitely. I mean, from where and how I grew up, that was that was super fast. And then, like you said, yeah, the rest was history after that.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me allow my colleague chip in with a few questions of his as well.
Tunji, good to have you on the show, and we appreciate the work you're doing for basketball, particularly using it, to empower lives. I've just been looking at Just Help Africa. What you've got to Just Help Africa?
Yeah, thanks. So Just Help Africa, I started Just Help Africa just because when people ask me what it means, it just means we simply want to help. That's all it means. I've been helped a lot through my career and how I got to the States. I mean, I worked hard, but then there was some help, there was some luck out there, So I created Just Help just because I want to be able to come back home and help whoever I can, however I can. It's simply that simple, yeah.
Let's go back to when you represented Nigeria. You were at the African Championship in Egypt and the Junior World Championship in Argentina at just 17. At that stage where you witnessed our basketball, now if you have a chance to turn things around, where will you start? How will you do it? And how important is it for us to get on that sort of project?
I mean, I think it starts from the grassroots, man. We have so much talent in this continent, in Nigeria specifically. I think, if you look at states, every neighborhood have a basketball court. They have camps, they have clinics. I think if we want to explore our talents, we need to do something like that. Just start these guys at I started very, very late. Start these guys at a very, very young age, develop them, teach them the game. And what comes with the game is structure. It gives you structure in your life as well, So I would say just start from the grassroots. Let's try to find these talents very, very early, develop and teach them. That's what I would advise when it comes to, growing basketball in Nigeria.
All right, let me throw this in before we, lay to rest with the project you're into. I mean, you've said a few things about it already. You talked about structure.
Yeah.
And I think most enthusiasts, lovers of the game, journalists, and every stakeholder will probably agree that that's what is missing. I mean, you already talked about talent, abundance of talent. So as somebody who's seen both sides, what's missing in terms of structure? What's really missing?
I think infrastructure is missing for big time because some of these families, so for example, Just Help Africa, we go to these villages that have absolutely nothing. And you get there, you see so much talent. Now, I'm not just going to come there and start teaching them basketball. We have to look at their homes and what are the basic needs that they are lacking. So I can't go into each household and help them. So we find these villages that have absolutely nothing, no power, no roads, no water. So we chose to go with water. So we provide them with a clean, drinkable water, a solar-powered borehole kind of water, and then we find a school in that neighborhood. And we see, okay, what are you lacking? And then that's where I tell them my story, So we make their home a little better because some of these villages, they have to walk miles. They wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning to go look for water. And this water, I tell you, they have to boil this water before they can even use them to do anything. But now, that's not their problem anymore. Now we move to okay, let's go to the schools and look at the education system there. Our latest project that we just finished this year was a school that was just abandoned. It was like 450 kids in that school, but they have only 2 classrooms that's just standing.
Which state?
It is in Oyo State, Araromi village. So last year when we came, we were able to help them renovate 2 classrooms. And I just made it a goal to come back and see if we can complete the whole infrastructure. And we're able to do that this year. So now that village have 2 boreholes. Now they have an education system that's going to start thriving now. That's going to bring some kind of focus to that mini village, So I think when it comes to structure, it comes from home, be a bit comfortable at home, and then get some education, and then you can get into sports. That's how I see it. You know, not every kid is going to be 6'11" and play basketball, but once you have those foundations, basketball can help you create some kind of structure, and it's a part of your life. You're not going to play basketball for the rest of your life. So have that education, play basketball. When you're done with playing basketball, what do you want to do afterward? Because life goes on after that. So we're trying to start from grassroots, very, very basic problems like that.
All right, finally, just tie it up for us. Off camera, we're talking about sports, basketball being an essential part of education that helps you prepare for life. Do you think that's what you're able to do with Just Help?
That's our goal. That's our goal, to like give you a path. Use us as an example of, okay, we went to school, not a good school, but then basketball helped me get to a good school. Now I'm not playing basketball anymore, and I still have a very pretty good life. I think basketball helped me get there. But again, I was 6'11" feet tall. Not every kid is going to be that tall. But so we kind of implore them, like, education is very, very important, you know. So stick to do that, and then you never know. It just makes you so versatile, I will say. Yeah.
All right. I guess that's a good place to let it land on the show. Tunji Soroye, I want to thank you.
Thank you
for your time on the show. And hopefully, we'll be following you. And if there's anything to report.
Yeah, please join us. Our website is called www.justhelpafrica.org. You'll see all our projects on there. We aim to do more of that.